5 shocking facts about Whiplash you never knew. Hey guys, today we're going to list 5 shocking facts about Whiplash you never knew. Let's get right into it. Number 1. The first scene is essentially the entire film. Damien Chazelle, the writer and director of Whiplash, intended to open the film with a scene of the protagonist, student Andrew Nyman, drumming and his teacher Fletcher forcefully coaching his technique, which is roughly what the next 2 hours entail. Chazelle told the University of California Television on YouTube, "The story itself is really about the drummer's relationship with the teacher, so that's what the first scene has to be." He then added, "It had to introduce the drummer, the teacher, and tell you exactly what the relationship was gonna be. Then the rest of the movie can vary, you know, riff off that theme. But I like the idea of basically having an entire movie within the opening scene of the movie." There are many layers to unpack within this dramatic sequence, but this opening scene distills the film to its essence. The audience witnesses a young drummer with a desire to advance, and an older mentor with a talent for pushing that desire to its limit, with underlying themes of passion, approval, and identity beneath every beat. That is Whiplash in a nutshell. Number 2. For Chazelle, Nyman's experience is semi-autobiographical. The writer-director Damien Chazelle's experience in his high school jazz ensemble inspired the trajectory of Andrew Nyman in Whiplash. Nyman is put under intense pressure to improve his drumming by his borderline psychotic teacher who expects perfection, a dynamic that mirrored Chazelle's childhood. Chazelle told The Hollywood Reporter that his teacher was always yelling, "You're rushing, you're dragging," and "not my tempo." Whiplash viewers who heard these words shouted by Nyman's professor Fletcher will recognize it. A semi-truck T-bones Nyman's rental car at an intersection on his way to a performance in the film. Despite the fact that the car is totaled and blood is streaming down Nyman's face, the concert is all he can think about. He flees the intersection, battered and bruised, to make it to the show on time. The scene was inspired by a similar incident in Chazelle's high school days, when he was in a wreck that flipped his car twice and still performed with his jazz ensemble the next day. In an odd turn of events, a similar incident occurred again during the film of Whiplash. Chazelle's car was totaled in an accident this time, necessitating a hospital visit. Regardless, he returned to the director's chair the next day, imitating his own creation. Number 3. Whiplash was filmed in less than 3 weeks. The cast of Whiplash knew they wanted actor Miles Teller to play the lead role. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Teller's limited availability put the production in a race against the clock. Between Teller's prior commitments and a Sundance Film Festival screening deadline, Whiplash only had a 19-day window to film the entire film. Furthermore, editors only had 2 months to create the film from the footage. Making a film is not a quick process. There are hours upon hours of preparing the set's lighting and audio, blocking the scene, and capturing take after take of the same lines for every minute shown in the finished product. To shoot a film as ambitious as Whiplash in 19 days, 18-hour days were required, with some days containing up to 100 setups of individual scenes, an unheard of lightning pace given the precision of each shot. Number 4. Miles Teller was unable to work out while filming. An actor may be required to follow a strict physical training regimen in order to prepare for a role that requires their character to be lean, ripped, or otherwise superhuman. In contrast to his other roles, Miles Teller had to intentionally avoid the gym in order to match his character's exercise habits in Whiplash. Teller told That Shelf, "I had just gotten done making the first Divergent, and for that we had to go to a boot camp, and all of the guys and girls there had to be in great shape for all the fighting we have to do." For Whiplash though, Teller's instructions were decidedly different. He said, "Don't go outside, don't touch a weight outside of maybe doing some forearm stuff. Just put on some larger shirts than you would normally wear, and just let that carry over into how the character carries himself." Within the context of the story, these instructions make sense. For starters, Teller's character Andrew Nyman is a college freshman who is likely to succumb to the infamous freshman 15 phenomenon, which occurs when first-year college students gain 15 pounds. Nyman doesn't have to worry about his personal image when he's so focused on perfecting his drumming. To him, any time not spent drumming is wasted time, including gym visits. Teller's presence had to uphold that integrity. Number 5. Deleted scenes would provide a more complete picture of Fletcher's life. The audience only sees J.K. Simmons' portrayal of Fletcher, Nyman's commanding conductor, upholds himself aggressively around his musicians. The majority of Fletcher's personal life is left to the imagination of the viewer, but this wasn't always the case. Sequences shot but not included in the finished film depicted Fletcher's home life in a way that would have added another layer of dimension to his character's duality. Simon told that shelf, "We shot a half day of scenes in Fletcher's apartment where we see just how Spartan his existence is." Simmons then added, "It's a nice apartment, but the one time we see him, he's drinking a glass of red wine with a frozen microwave dinner, eating by himself. He's a sad guy, and the only thing he has in his life is the music." That's all for today, and we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.